This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised. Previously on Back to the Story.
But if anything goes awry, if there's any claim to be made upon any knowledge or artifacts or anything of the sort, our employee will get first dibs.
We tend to have some interesting ways of getting into places.
Yeah, as you get closer, this one says, "Ward thee from sight." One has the symbol of the black star, and one has the symbol of the sun.
I cast light on the symbol of the sun.
I have a bit of funds, not much. Where the fuck? Yes, I found it.
Yay!
I found it. Okay, we can start now.
Entertaining listening to you talk to your computer. It really is.
Who, me? It's an asshole, and it knows it. Where did I put you? Past me with such a dick. All right, you guys ready to start?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you guys are heading down the stairs. Let's get a marching order.
What do we need that for?
Oh, well, I guess we'll find out.
Oh, I mean, it's a dark
Is that Melly's
hallway.
voice?
I'm near the back, I think.
I would like to be up the front, as much front as possible, preferably in front of Ball, if he'll let me.
Oh, yeah. Can Ball bring up the rear? I know you're a tank, but we're going into hallways, and historically that has not been good when you're...
Ball fills up this hallway. It's about
I'm pretty sure Ball's taking up the rear just because, he's big and awkwardly walking through it, so you guys would just be faster, so he kind of lets you guys go ahead while he maneuvers.
Amsen's going to be pretty close behind Calvin, I think.
Okay.
I'll be pretty close to the back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who's shoulder to shoulder with Calvin?
I guess me.
Okay. Holy shit, Vesper, are you towards the back or in the middle?
Yeah, I'm towards the back.
Holy shit, I did this. I'm amazing. God.
You just knew, man.
I'm incredible. So, you guys are heading down the stairs. The two individuals, the scholar and his guard, are kind of moving along the walls as he's writing and taking notes. Every now and then the spear woman has to grab him and pull him along. So they're a good 20 feet behind, but they're moving. As you guys come to the base, you begin to see a large room. There's a bit of light that streams down in this one, though it's still dark. Those of you that don't have dark vision, it's effectively pitch black. There's no light source in here. Besides Vesper's glowing, brilliant amulet, or symbol that I forgot about. So you guys can see pretty well. And as you come to the base of these stairs and see this perfectly circular room, you see figures standing. Maybe 10 of them standing in this room as you just crest just enough to see the edge of their feet. So you continue downward. A few moments pass, the feet don't move. They don't shift.
I mean, we have light if we're not sneaking. So I vote keep going. But I'll have my shield and staff out.
Okay. So you pull that out. Continuing downward, you see there's a room above a dome ceiling of green and blue glass. Though most of it is covered. There's a bit of it where some amount of light is making through, not enough to really see. But with Vesper's light, you see these figures. There's maybe 10 of them in this room. They're all staring towards the ceiling. As you get close, you see they have elven features, the ears, the angular nose and cheeks, the long chins, though they resemble more the drawings on the walls. Ancient. Their faces and skin ashen and gray, cracked, as if covered or formed into a layer of ash. They stare and stare unmoving, unblinkingly, looking towards the ceiling and towards the sky.
Are they breathing?
I was going to say, Calvin pokes one with his spear.
They kind of move backwards but doesn't fall over, adjust slightly, shifts the foot to your push, but doesn't respond to you, just continues to stare towards the ceiling.
Calvin joins them.
Okay, looking up, you see the ceiling, the dome of glass, part of it uncovered where you claimed your boots before.
In Sylvan, say, hello?
To all of them in general, or
Yeah,
to one?
just kind of like calling out to them. Anybody awake in here?
No immediate response from the Ashen Elves.
Can I walk up to one and try and turn its face down?
Do you do so?
Yeah.
You can certainly try. Okay. You come and you pull with some resistance at first. At first, you pull it down and it looks upon you with ashen eyes. Which Ezekiel you hear and Ball watch the skies as it pulls away from your hands and continues to look up.
Is it just dust on my hands that's like collected on
There's
them?
a bit of dust, yeah, is collected.
What the fuck is happening here?
Beyond, you can see a faint glow from some room in the distance beyond this one. Just faint.
Hey, now sounds like a good time to cast Detect Good and Evil, so I'm going to do that.
Oh, do you say anything out loud, or you just do it?
It's verbal, so...
Because
casting.
yeah, if we know what's what, I would like to divine sense.
Okay, so both of you doing these things, you sense Fae.
Where? Everywhere?
Only one. In the distant. It's far enough away to where you don't have a distinct signal, but there is one forward. You also sense undead all around you.
Are the elves undead?
Seems to be.
Calvin will rejoin the group.
I will move into the middle of these elves. How close are they standing to each other?
They're a few feet apart. 10 feet here, 15 feet there.
Okay. As long as I am within 30 feet of all of them, I would like to cast Turn Undead.
You can't get within 30 feet of all of them.
Most of them?
You could get most of them if you want to.
Yeah, as many as I possibly can.
Okay. Where do you want to be when you do that? Within this room.
Hang on, let me get to the map. I was looking at my book.
As Vesper is moving, beginning to whisper words of prayer beneath her breath,
There.
you hear steps beyond in the distance.
I want to be right here, because I actually look like I am within 30 feet of all of them. Or at least most of them. Yeah, I'll be right here. I'm going to cast...
and if Vesper's moving into the room, I don't want to leave her that far exposed, so I will...
I'm sure these guys are more than that too, but when an undead fails its saving throw against my turn undead, if it challenge rating of 1/2 or lower, it is destroyed.
Okay, and what's the saving throw?
A wisdom.
So with Vesper moving in, are we all able to get into the room on the map?
Yeah, Calvin has pushed one and moved back, so you're kind of free. This has been over a minute or so as she begins to do this. Looking in.
Otherwise, I just turned.
What's your DC?
I was actually just checking. It's my spellcasting DC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not as much as it should be. 14.
That one's close. With an explosion of silver light from your prayer, all of them scatter to dust. You see the last one as this light expands, turn towards you. Watch the skies. In Sylvan, as you can translate. There's only one that was hit by your light that didn't fade away, though their face is cracked and partially faded from this spell. With the room cleared, you can see beyond, or hear beyond, clanking. You can see a light in the distance. Looks like something that moves up towards the ceiling of the room beyond the hallway. You see movement, a silhouette against that light.
There's something fey ahead. These are all undead. All of these ash elves.
That you just obliterated.
They were undead.
They weren't exactly doing anything.
They were undead. Unholy.
Well, then I will step forward and try and see anything walking towards me. I can't yet. I'll look back at the group. Should I try and talk to it?
We'll stay.
I would.
We'll stay close up behind you.
Okay. I'll call out, "Hello there," in Sylvan.
And Sylvan, you hear a response. You hear the shifting a figure backlit by something glowing at its back. Looks like a tree. This figure in armor, you can tell from the arms that it looks like has a similar ash covering or ash skin, cracked with purplish red. It speaks in Sylvan back to you. Leave this place.
Any particular reason?
The black star falls. And it turns its back on you and moves towards the tree. Steps on the platform that the tree is upon. Reaches towards it. You see it withdraw a blade, curved, a saber, from the tree. Turns, lands on the ground. Points the blade towards you. Leave this place. And so on.
Quickly translating for the group, and then we'll say, I will have you know, my friends don't tend to respond to violence very subtly.
No response. Eyes locked on yours. You see there's a few more of ashen figures that are in the next room. They're not watching the sky, but are watching this Vumeri.
Are we about to throw down?
Depends. How much do we want to get in there?
Why are we here again?
I want to know what he means by a black star.
True. And he is raising a bunch of undead in here, so I don't quite sit well with any of it. So I'll turn back to him and Sylvan, and I think that's going to be a no.
It kind of glances towards the ground, and you see a dark liquid form from its eyes, tears. So be it. And it shifts into a stance, ready to fight. Everyone roll initiative. Let me get my initiative paper. I was ready for this. Oh,
no.
Oh,
ball. Classic ball.
Oh, no.
Oh, Ezekiel. Oh, Calvin.
Yeah.
Our tanks.
All right, let's see what we got here. 16 for Amsen.
You guys can always sprint behind us.
1 for Ball.
Yes. We have plenty of time to hide.
20 for Vesper. 2 for Ezekiel. 5 for Calvin. And 18 for Ellory.
If these guys aren't, I don't like that.
That's a pretty good split of all of the...
Yeah. We're all going to end up going at the same time. But the first round is like half the party, enemies, the other half of the party.
Which is the enemies. The tank.
Right?
It's fine. But then we get to go right after the hard hitters. So
Presumably, it's going to attack me first.
Presumably. I can get it, except that I'm going to be stupid in 5 seconds.
Oh, no. So, first up, as you see this individual weeping, black liquid shifts into a stance ready to strike. Vesper, you get the first move. What do you do?
Sexy. I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. So the forms with 6 wings begin to form and circle around you.
Actually, I'm going to move first. I'm going to go... where can I get to? I'm going to try and avoid this thing as much as I can. Go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I'll catch these 3 in it.
Okay. So you shift
I'm going to
over.
move there first, and then I'm going to cast.
Okay. To get there, as you're
go ahead. Just any creature in the area, their speed is halved, just as an FYI.
Sure. To get there, you would have to. Well, where were you before?
I was next to Amsen. I was here, so I went 5, 15, this one, and then 30. I went around that one and scooted up.
Cool. So you moved around casting the spell as the 6 winged figures begin to circle around. That would bring us up to him, which I believe at the starting his turn in the area has to make a save. Okay. And he has advantage on that.
Which is still half damage.
That is 12.
That will not make it. So that is 13 radiant damage.
You see the light from these as they pass by, spinning with their wings, fly through him. He doesn't wince. He doesn't move, seemingly unaffected. You see, as the light of these wings shift through, the sword, the black saber in his hand, seems to glow with that black energy. It pushes out whatever radiant energy that would have struck him. He is then going to move towards Ezekiel. Moving up, and he's going to strike. Actually, on his way, he takes a step forward, raising his other hand. Black energy, like magnetic ferrous liquid, forms in his hand as he launches a blast towards you, Ezekiel. And that is a 17 to hit.
Miss.
The black, you just duck under it. As it slides by, as he runs forward, comes down with the long sword, the saber, and that is a 19 to hit.
Miss.
As you just duck under it, striking to the side. And that is his turn. But he's right here. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is move over to the side of the room where I can get a better view of things. And then I am going to cast... What am I going to cast? Let's have fun and go with Chaos Bolt. 15?
That will miss.
Okay.
The bolt of changing colors cascades across the room as he sees it and ducks, flying over his shoulder, slamming into the wall behind.
And I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. So, Amsen, you begin your turn, but at the end of Ellory's, he makes another strike at Ezekiel. This time a 21.
That'll hit.
There's 9 slashing damage as it slices, and make a charisma saving throw.
11.
The black energy strikes across you and leaves a scar of black across your armor and your flesh that he strikes into. You feel yourself going numb and dizzy. Your eyes kind of gloss over in blackness. You are currently incapacitated.
Awesome.
And that will bring us to Amsen's turn.
All right.
For my action, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire. And it's going to go in a 20-foot square so that I can hit the big guy in front of Ezekiel and the one next to Vesper.
Okay. The one next to Vesper does not move, staring at the sky. You cover it. He's going to try to dodge it. He's advantage against magic. Not much better. 11.
Nope.
He glows with the purple energy of your fairy fire.
Awesome.
Making him very easy to see.
For my bonus action, I'm going to draw out my Shade Saber for the first time.
Holding your hand to the side, the shadow blade, the saber, expands from the hilt you hold.
Awesome. And then I'm going to go over closer to Vesper so that I'm about 10 feet south of where Vesper is, close to the party. And that's my turn.
Okay. He is going to, at the end of your turn, make another strike against the incapacitated Ezekiel. And that is a 26 to hit.
Yeah.
And 13 slashing damage.
Words that. Can I still do it?
The attack or the damage?
The damage.
Okay, so 13 slashing damage reduced to...
Hey, that's an 8.
Oh, okay. So 5 slashing damage. And that will bring us up to... Calvin, you're on deck after a couple. First, the ashen faces there staring into the sky.
Wisdom saves.
Suddenly look down. And this one's going to make a save. That's a 5.
Nope.
And that's a 15.
That one makes it. So it's 10 total. So 5 for the half one of radiant damage, if that makes any difference. Probably.
So the one standing beside Amsen and you fades to ash as they strike through it. The other one has lost half of its shoulder and one of the arms, but remains as their heads all tilt down. The one closest to you struggles pushing through the swirl of energy and reaches out for you with their good arm, is going to try to grab you. So make an acrobatics or athletics.
Okay. Oh, that's a natural 20.
It grabs at you and begins to pull you as you twist and turn, breaking from the grapple away from it. This one is going to move. It's going to spin towards you. Ellory. That's all I can do. And that will bring us up to... He's going to try to shoot a bit of cover. Natural 20, so it doesn't matter. And hits this last one. They try to grapple at you, Vesper. As it reaches its hand out, you twist out from under it. And as it goes in to grab at your throat once more, a icicle strikes through its head, scattering the ash along the floor. That one is no more. And that will bring us up to Calvin.
Okie dokie. Good. I want to look up a spell real quick. Yes, that is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn... I'm going to move up to right next to my good friend Ezekiel. And then I am going to, if I can read this right, I want to compel duel the guy as a bonus action, I guess.
Okay. What do you say?
I don't know. Something to the effect of, creature of darkness, you will face me. And I will point my spear at him, and he makes a wisdom saving throw.
That is a 13.
I don't know what my crap is.
What's your charisma score? 4? Plus 4?
No, it's not quite that much. It's plus 3. So I think that's 6. No, plus
11 plus your proficiency.
So 14 is my spell DC according to this website.
Okay, so what did I say? 14?
13 is what you said.
I said 13. Okay, so he just fails it.
Okay.
You see, as Ezekiel is kind of shifting from side to side, incapacitated, and he's beginning to make a strike towards his throat. He sees you say these words, and even though he doesn't understand it, he can read the look upon your face of determination, and begins to move around Ezekiel towards you. What else do you do for the rest of your turn?
I would like to hold my action to attack him when he is within range.
Okay. And at the end of your turn, he looks over his shoulder as he begins to move around Ezekiel, looks back towards Vesper, conjures that ferrous black star in his hand once more, and slings it towards Vesper.
Is he attacking her?
Yeah.
He has disadvantage when attacking creatures beside me.
So that's a 10. As it
I will not do it.
flies over. And Vesper, you are prepared to dodge, and you don't even have to. As he begins to throw it towards you, his eyes shift again towards Calvin, as the bolt of Black Star slams into the wall behind. Salifor, Tresic. As he says something in Sylvan, shifting around towards you, Calvin. That brings us up to Ezekiel. You're incapacitated, can't take actions or reactions, but you can move. You're groggy out of it. You can vaguely tell battle is happening around you.
Okay. So I'm just gonna... I know I'll take the attack, but I'll just throw my shield up and try and just back up to here, behind Calvin, but not in Ball's way.
He doesn't take it. His eyes are locked on Calvin.
Okay. That's my turn.
Ball
is going to, with the way paved for him, just kind of run up with his sword out, and it's going to just swing at him. He's going to do Phoenix Blade. So this is the first attack. 18.
That will just hit. As the blade comes down, slashing into him.
So that'll be 12 slashing, 7 fire, and I'll put a first level smite into that for 11 radiant.
As the fire cascades upon them, coming from your weapon, ablaze, you slash down through him. The burning wounds him. You can see him wincing under his ash mask. But as the energy of radiance flows through the weapon and strikes into him, it is absorbed by the blade.
Okay.
It seems to be unaffected by it. And that will bring us up to...
Not quite, so I still can do some more stuff. Just wasn't expecting that outcome with the whole absorption.
And Ball, are you on fire?
Not yet, but
okay.
I think I'm about to, seeing that. Yeah, so maybe just out of frustration, seeing the radiant energy kind of being absorbed with my bonus action, I will cast my mantle.
Okay, so channeling that inner strength, the radiance that's normally intertwined with your heritage fades, and you drive into your fire giant heritage, burning into a giant tornado of fire and muscle. And that will bring us up to Vesper. At the end of Ball's turn, he's going to try to strike towards you, Ball.
I'm going to use my shield. Well, this time, the compelled duel broke as soon as Ball attacked him. So this time it's disadvantaged because my shield. I'm using my reaction as a shield.
Okay. So, eyes locked at Calvin, the sudden strike hits him from the side as he turns, looking now towards Ball. And as he strikes up, lifting into the air, Calvin, you shift quickly, putting your shield between you and him, striking down upon your shield, preventing the attack. Vesper.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna shift around so I'm flanking with Ball. And I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon right next to us. Because that doesn't do radiant damage. So I will roll, that's a 25 to hit.
No, 25 will never hit.
Yeah, that hits. I was trying to move your weapon over.
Hell yeah. That is 11 points of force damage.
Okay.
And as I come behind him, I'm going to use my action to pull out a dagger and try and stick it into his back.
Okay. So as the ethereal bow strikes forth towards him,
that one's only in
side.
8 though, so that one does not.
You try to.
Oh wait, no, I'm flanking. Holy shit!
Well, he's very fired anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's still only a 10. So never mind.
Okay. So even though he's distracted, being hit and pummeled on all sides, you try to find a chink in his armor, but aren't able to push through. You can see the armor is made out of that moon glass that the dome above is made out of, and it's harder to push through. That will bring us up to him. Or actually, not technically. On him. You can see as he looks above and whispers something in Sylvan. Black Star Fall. You can see what little bit of vague moonlight you can see through the glass darkens. And you see coalescing like black ink above, and the same symbol of that black Ferris star, pointed in all directions, a spike, form at the very top of the dome and lands immediately upon him. I need Vesper, Ball, Calvin, and let's see if Ezekiel, to make Constitution saving throws.
Ball, and if Ezekiel's doing it, then
it includes Ezekiel as well for a Constitution save. Ezekiel, as he begins to call and look above, pointing his hand above, you come to at the start of his turn. I don't ever get to roll d12s. So instead of taking 27 points of damage, you take 13 points of radiant damage.
Ooh.
Same for you.
That is halved for me because of celestial resilience. I am resistant.
Okay. So as this energy cascades down, the black star slams and disperses, exploding in black around you. This strange black, yet radiant energy.
And I failed my con save, so my spirits are gone.
Okay. And that will be his turn. Bring us to Ellory.
Okay, so I look at this thing in front of me and I say, fucking undead bullshit. And I use 2 sorcery points to cast Shocking Grasp as a bonus action.
Okay. You see it running towards you, reaching its arms out to try and grab you.
That's an 18 to hit.
It absolutely hits.
And let me check.
As you put your hands upon the chest first, sparking with energy.
That is 8 lightning damage.
Scatters into nothing. This thing was barely a form at all, and the lightning that you radiate from your hands scatters the ash upon the floor.
Okay, with that, I'm going to move up against the wall a little bit, and I am going to use my action to cast... Let's go with Scorching Ray, all 3 rays going towards, well, the only target that's left.
Okay, go for it.
First ray is a natural 20.
Hits.
Second is a dirty 20.
Also hits.
And third is 18.
Just barely hits.
Okay. So that's...
effectively 4 times what you would normally roll as far as dice.
22, 23, 27 points.
As the fire slams in. Easy to see, especially even with all the people, with your eye and the fairy fire, you slam these flames into him, one after another as he's about knocked off his feet.
And that's it for me.
Okay. At the end of your turn, you see he's about to fall, and he shifts his leg to the side, using the momentum of gravity, which would have brought him to fall, and is going to strike towards Vesper. And that is a 21 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Dig.
Cutting words on the damage.
11 points of slashing damage.
And I rolled a 4.
So reduced to 7. And make a... What save is that?
Okay.
Constitution. And make a charisma saving throw as the black blade hits you.
7.
Everything goes black as if you're just seeing black night and stars. You feel groggy, you feel out of it. Everything blurs around you. You're incapacitated. And that will bring us to Amsen.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. As an action, I'm going to viciously mock the guy in the middle of Ball and Vesper.
So that is, even though he has advantage, that is a 5.
Sweet. So, Amsen's going to say, you know, I've never, ever, ever met someone I believe in as little as you. And he takes... That's not great. That's 4 psychic damage. And has disadvantage on his next attack.
Okay.
And for my bonus action, I'm going to inspire Vesper. Even though she's kind of incapacitated, but I will do it anyways. And I will sing out, "You're casting those spells from the divine. It's a blessing from above, like you dreamed of when you were young." And that's my turn.
Distantly, Vesper, you hear words, a song, catching a few of the words in your incapacitated state. And that will bring us up to Melly is going to shift around. 30 is going to get there. He's going to try to strike him again. An icicle, trying to avoid Ball and the incapacitated Vesper. The icicle just goes a little too high and goes over his head as he ducks down, slashing behind. And Calvin, actually, at the end of Melly's turn, he's going to turn after striking and ducking under the icicle, hitting Vesper is going to spin, and almost in the same strike is going to go for Ball. That's a natural 19, so that's 28.
Roll it.
Okay. Dealing 9 slashing damage, and make a charisma saving throw. Oh, actually he has disadvantage because of the thing, so that is 16 instead to hit you, Ball.
Then that will not hit.
So he begins to strike towards the Ball, coming forth. But as he hears these words to the side, he tilts his head, and the strike just hits into the armor of Ball's thigh. And that will bring us up to Calvin now.
Calvin will step forward. That seems like an appropriate spot for him to be in. And he will use his bonus action to channel divinity. If I can get onto the right page. He will grip his holy symbol until it bleeds and whisper parts of his oath unaudibly. It's to himself. It's very quiet. It's very serene in that moment. But he will take on 2d8 damage. That's not bad. Takes a total of 6 damage. So that's fun. And then I do this thing I like to do. I like to poke people. That's what he's gonna do right now. Let's see how that goes. That was the wrong dice, but that's 24
Hits.
on the first attack.
I think you still have advantage. Are you rolling with advantage?
No, I did not. That's significantly better, but not a crit. And then the second attack, because I doubt that will kill him. That was a natural 20. The second attack's a natural 20.
Okay, so both hit.
On the first attack, we'll just do a standard attack for a D8, which is awesome. Which is 7 piercing. And then on my other attack, I'm going to do a level 2 smite. 3,
keep the physical damage separate.
Okay. Shit, are you real? This isn't gonna
Yeah.
do shit. Cool.
You would have seen the angels go through them and stuff, so if that helps at all.
And-
I mean, he
And
hasn't
ball's
tried
not
it
working,
yet.
but you haven't tried it yet.
I'm not a smart boy.
That's true.
If that's the case, well then I'm going to roll the physical damage first. That's not bad. We're looking at 14, 18 piercing, and then okay. Is this irrelevant? Because if it is, I don't want to roll it.
If this is the radiant damage, you come down with your spear, striking into him. You pierce him, and as you pull out, you see ash and dust kind of fall out from the wound. But as you deliver the smite, as the energy and radiant energy drives forth, the black blade soaks up the radiant energy, having no effect upon him.
That sucks. Well, I think that's all of my stuff.
Okay. Was that, I think 18, was that from both attacks that you hit on?
No, that was the second attack.
What was did you do damage on the first?
Yeah, it was just 7. So 7.
Okay.
It's 25 total piercing damage.
Okay, I didn't catch the first 7. Okay. So you, realizing that the
I'm
black
sorry,
blade
I forgot to add the other
modifiers.
the other modifier. It's plus 3 plus 3.
6.
So 6 more
Extra.
on top of it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. You can see now you've cracked parts of the armor. You can see the ash beginning to fall apart. This individual is on the way to defeat. I will not let you do it, he says in Sylvan. And at the end of your turn is going to strike forth towards Calvin with the blade. That is a 17 to hit.
Sorry.
You just knock it away with your shield. He hits part of your shoulder pauldron, but that's the closest he's gotten so far. And that will bring us to Ezekiel. You are no longer incapacitated.
Yeah, even so, I'm not incredibly useful right now, so I will just do my thing, and with a level 3 spell slot, I will give a Blessing Wind around Ball, Calvin, Vesper, Ellory, and Amsen.
Okay. And the wind begins to flow between you. And at the end of your turn, he's going to strike one more time. This time against the incapacitated Vesper. That's another natural 19. 28.
Yeah.
10 slashing damage.
Okay. I'm bloodied.
And that will bring us up to Ball.
All right. I am going to raise my greatsword and just kind of like, as there's flames kind of coming out of basically like flames shoot up my blade. And as I come down and like come and swing it down, I'm going to say, "To the tainted we bring fire." And bonus action to cast Searing Smite at level 3. And then my normal action to attack.
Okay. Hearing your words as you come down with the great sword, he shifts and tries to put his palm against his blade to try to block it as you come down. Rolling.
14.
With a sound that would crack stone, this flaming, massive sword slams against him. His heels dig into the stone and he's pushed back a few inches, but he holds this ancient elf holding the might of a fire giant against and pushes it back as he pushes your sword back as you reset.
All right. And that's all I got.
Okay. Vesper, you're groggy, incapacitated. You can move. You can tell battle's going on around you. What do you do?
Can I use my bonus action? Or can I not take anything?
I'll say you can't. Yeah, you can't take bonus actions either.
I can't. I mean, I'm incapacitated. I can't really do anything, can I?
The only thing you can really do is move. So you can vaguely tell battles going on around you. You can see blurred colors, hear like a distant crack beside your ear.
I'm just going to stay still because I don't want to move. I can see that he's not looking at me, kind of, so I don't want to move and draw his attention.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah, I can. Can I 5-foot shift?
I'll say you can.
Okay, I'm going to 5-foot shift out of his range.
Okay. He looks over his shoulder, but he's holding the weight of Ball's sword, and he can't take the reaction to try and strike towards you. That will bring us up to him. At this point,
do I make a save at all at the end of my turn, or am I just fucked?
You're currently can't see.
Cool.
The rest of you see that as the black star fell and dispersed and exploded upon you, that shadowy black radiant energy, this black light, begins to draw and pull its way towards the dome once again and is coalesced at the top and begins to drop once more, landing upon him and exploding. Calvin, Ball, Vesper, all need to make Constitution saving throws. Whoa. That is...
I got a 29.
Okay, so that would be 30 dark radiant energy, reduced to 15 to the three of you.
I look bad, guys.
As the energy explodes, and your wounds are opened up, searing and burnt, Vesper, your eyes kind of adjust as incapacitation leaves you, and you kind of adjust and come back to full focus. You're no longer incapacitated. As he begins his turn, he's going to strike against Ball as he pushes up. He's going to make his first strike against Ball.
Something. Yeah, I mean, we'll say that because there's something else, but I can't remember what it does.
Well, the first roll was a natural 20, but as you put your shield up, as he comes down, he hits your shield, grinds to the side. Instead is going to be a 22 to hit you, Ball.
You have a +1 if that helps.
I'm going to use my reaction for shield.
Okay. So the
maybe,
sword slides
like
off the shield and begins to hit into you as a fiery flaming shield forms up in between the blade and you as it rebounds off as he looks in shock and turns towards Calvin. He is going to take a quick shifty motion and is going to stand in the middle of that. I don't like that, but that's what he does. And he's just going to stay there because I like to be able to see him. Shit. Damn it. He strikes Calvin. 18 to hit. Calvin?
No, sir.
He strikes towards you and misses once again.
Calvin makes a smirky, like,
Ellory.
I was going to move a little bit up along the wall, but now I don't need to since he moved into a better line of sight. And I'm going to go ahead and do Scorching Ray again. So, the Fairy Fire's still up?
It's still up.
Okay. I don't think a 13 hits.
13 misses. He ducks over the first.
25.
That'll hit. Slams into the side.
And 24.
And that'll hit as well.
That'll be 16 points of fire damage.
He's able to duck one, but the other two slam into his side. You can now see he's hunched over, trying to stay up.
And I got a surge.
Okay.
So, let's see what that turns up.
Oh, sweet. D100. Please be a fireball. I always hope for that.
So, I'm trying to remember how to read these things. I think that's a 5.
Is it 0, 0, and then
yes.
5? Yeah, that's a 5.
Okay, so that's a 5.
Great. Wonderful. So as you surge, you hear a clanking. And you see a cog appear beside you. Familiar. You've seen this before. As out tumbles a triangular-shaped creature made of this strange goldish copper metal that falls onto the floor as the cog disappears. As you see this strange little creature kind of get to its feet on these metal legs with one big sphere serving as an eye as it looks around, frightened.
Holy fuck, you again?
Is that the end of your turn?
That is. I'm just going to stare at this thing beside me.
Okay. At the end of your turn, it is going ahead and seeing one wounded is going to try to make a difference as best it can, turning over and is going to strike towards forming the black star in its hand, launching it towards Vesper. And that is a 13 to hit.
No.
So, the black star, you just come into focus once, just in time to step to the side as it strikes before you, bringing us to Amsen.
All right. So Amsen's gonna step in between Vesper and this dude McGuy. And sure, why not? He's going to try to hit it with his Shade Saber. This will be fun. That's a terrible roll. Amsen doesn't know how to use this thing. That's a 10.
Okay. You're used to the light and quick rapier strikes, and this is heavier in places, weighted, and yet the shadow is weightless. And not being used to it, you make a strike wide and sweeping, giving him plenty enough time to tilt his saber to the side and parry it over his head.
All right. Bonus action, I'm going to healing word. Out of the people that I can actually see, I think Vesper's the worst, so I'll healing word Vesper. Let's go with the second level. That's not a great roll either. That's a 6. No, 7. And that's my turn.
Okay. And at the end of your turn, he's going to strike at you. That's an 18 to hit you.
I'm going to use luck.
Higher.
Damn it. Okay.
So 18?
Yeah.
Does that hit you?
Yeah, that does.
Okay. So that is a 14 slashing damage, and make a charisma saving throw.
It's a 10.
Okay, you're incapacitated, and I don't know if that automatically gets rid of concentration. You definitely make a concentration save.
Oh, I don't think so, but I'll roll a d4 anyways. Hey, that would be a 14. Charisma save, actually.
Just fails.
Damn.
You're also within 10 feet of Calvin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
you
that's
would have a
another
plus
plus
3.
3.
That'll bring you
Plus
up.
3.
That'll bring you up. Okay.
Buffs to help.
You're also
So-
really good looking, so add an extra 6 to that.
I'm never in combat, guys.
So Amsen, never in combat, as he strikes and is easily parried, a counter strike comes forth towards him, striking into you, Amsen. And as your vision fades and things begin to blur, wind kind of wakes and blows your hair, kind of bringing you into focus. And then you see the gleaming light of Calvin standing next to the burn of Bull, and you see the light of the room once more.
And that's a 19 concentration save. So he's still fairy
So
fired.
you hang on to the spell, and you remained focused. And that will bring us up to these guys and to Melly. So Melly's just going to do her thing. I think this is the only damaging spell she has, and she's going to continue to do it. That hits as an icicle slings towards him and slams into him. She has advantage. Let's see what that. No. You can see with a ice shard, nearly not as thick but longer, like a javelin, is stuck into his side. He's clasping it in one hand, holding the blade in the other, as he looks like he is on his last leg. And at the end of Melly's turn, he's going to turn and strike once more to Amsen. No, he's going to turn towards Calvin. See you, locking eyes once more. He's going to strike towards you. 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That hits, okay. Great. 10 slashing damage, and make a charisma saving throw.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, you are incapacitated, and you take that 10 slashing damage. And that will bring us up to Calvin, actually. So you can move, but your vision is just stars and black. Vision is blurred. Sounds are muffled. You can still move, but you can't take any actions or reactions.
Shit. I don't want to do anything.
Okay, so you remain swaying back and forth in place. That brings us up to Ezekiel. As you see Calvin kind of lower his spear just a bit, dazed.
Ezekiel doesn't have much, so he's going to move here and cast Thorn Whip.
Okay.
And I'm just going to roll it like this because I still don't have that set up. So it's a 23 to hit. I'll roll the damage elsewhere.
Yeah, that hits.
8 piercing damage, and I'm going to choose not to actually pull him.
Okay.
I don't want to move him.
So the Whip of Thorns wraps around him. Do you have to? Does it come from you? Let's see.
So it's a melee spell attack. So technically, yes. I think like a whip literally extends from my staff.
From you. Okay.
From me.
Oh, okay. So if you went from there, he would have.
I can
cover bonus.
move over a little bit, but either way, I'm going to do it from there.
Just seeing, because this could make a difference. Let's see. Yeah, so he would have... Is that half cover? Yeah, so he would actually have cover on that one. Unless you move like one more square to the right.
Then I can do that, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. All that time for nothing. You shift over and are able to whip from your staff, wrapping around him, twisting and turning as the thorns wrap around the chinks in his armor. And
you know what? I will also do a level 2 healing word to Vesper real quick.
Okay.
So I'll roll that while you move on.
Okay, and as that wind word comes to Vesper, healing some of those wounds brings us up to Ball, flaming the fire giant heritage.
All right. Now I have to ask a question because I don't want to be unfair here.
Sure.
When you did the AoE attack again, the one that did the dark radiant energy, was that after my turn?
It was after Vesper.
Okay.
You can see it pulling up again. It's preparing to drop once more.
Okay, so I just have to do a Constitution check on my Searing Smite.
Okay. I think that was 15 damage, so it would be a DC 10.
Yeah, and I think Warcaster gives me advantage.
Oh yeah, Warcaster, nice. Yeah, it's advantage on.
So 22, so I'm fine.
Yeah, you're
okay.
Absolutely fine.
So I'm going to just do a regular swing Phoenix Blade. Still with advantage because I think he still has Fairy Fire.
He is.
And then roll 1d4 for Bless. So does a 22 hit?
That is.
All right. So that would be 15 slashing plus 5 fire. There's going to be more fire. So for now it's 15 slashing, and then I'll get my calculator out.
How do you want to do it?
Okay. Maybe just the first time that I kind of like pulled my sword above me to slam it down. When I said that, and under my breath I said, "To the tainted we bring fire," and that didn't work the first time. But the second time I bring my sword up above me and I repeat it with more fire in my breath, and I swing down again. And as I do, the blade goes through him, and you can see that where there was ash, kind of like when you put, like, basically the ash kind of reignites as his body splits.
Okay, so Ball, you shift, raising the flaming blade above you. He sees this, turns, and is going to try to block it, as he did before, holding the other blade in his palm, raising it above. As you come down, saying those words, whether consciously or unconsciously, you say them this time in giant, as they growl out, flames licking out of your mouth as you come down, crashing straight through the blade as if it's paper, slamming into him as he scatters to ash. But this time the pieces that remain are ignited. The embers lying on the floor, the form split, the armor cracked. As you see the embers slowly burning, the eyes that were once alive, bleeding black tears stop and go out. A few moments go by. The black star energy above fades as soon as the blade is dropped from this Vumeri's hands. Silence once again takes over these ruins.
I'm
Amsen,
just
are you
sitting.
okay? Are you okay, Amsen? Got hit.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Are you? Calvin, Bull, you alright?
This might be a good time to take a break. Catch your breath. And as I say that, I'm going to step over the body, or what's left of the body, and pick up the sword.
Okay.
Or whatever that blade is.
Yeah, you
Is
pick
it
up.
a
It's
sword?
it's like a long sword. It's like a cutlass, slightly curved, long and black. It seems to absorb the light around it. It's not shiny or anything. It doesn't reflect. It absorbs light.
And I'll just be kind of inspecting it as I kind of try to multitask and take a look at my wounds.
Are you all taking a short rest?
I would like to.
Yeah, I'm gonna start healing people.
Right now, I'm just staring at this thing that popped out of a portal next to me.
Before we just sit, do we want to look at that glowing-ass creepy tree in the next room and just make sure there's not an open passage for things to run at us?
Yes.
If
I'm happy
anybody
to-
goes, Calvin goes.
I'm happy to provide some healing, but I just don't want to settle in and before we know anything about what's going on. Also, where are our friends? Little man, where are you? Crypto, whatever you are.
Is it all clear? You hear the word shouted from the stairs above.
Yeah, no thanks to your fucking hirelings.
Oh, no. And he kind of begins to peek down. You see standing next to him, kind of ready, the spearwoman.
Let's not worry about that.
What is... And he rushes over, at first towards the body, seeing the armor. Is this... And begins to inspect it. Wound glass, yes. And kind of takes out an eyepiece and begins looking at the armor. The spearwoman kind of shifts beside him, looking out.
Do we want to go look up ahead and then see if it's safe to rest a moment?
As well.
Calvin will move close to probably Amsen or somebody and maybe whisper, maybe we should leave some here with them.
Vesper stops in the doorway of the next room.
I'll stay behind. You guys go.
There are more ash elves.
Oh. Well, shit.
If they're anything like the others, they won't come unless beckoned.
Well, here's a crazy idea. Do we want to just go right back up those stairs where we have a narrow point to at least feed them out of so we know before we just sit for an hour?
Passageway as well.
Yeah, and we know where they're coming from. If we just hung out here for a few minutes and bound our wounds, I think we'd be alright.
I'm just saying an hour can change a lot of things.
And we can be prepared for it, but...
That's fair.
Ball will walk up to the corridor that Vesper's at, and just kind of lean his back up against the wall and begin to, dress his wounds. And as he's doing it, he'll say, I think this room will be safe. We can see both sides.
From where you're leaning, Ball, next to Vesper and her light radiating out, you can see one ashen elf standing at the entrance to a room across the hallway that is staring towards you, staring at the blade in your hand.
I think Ball will do that thing where when he'll stop his mending of his wounds and notice this is happening, pause to look at the blade, and then look back at this ashen elf and just start to kind of almost like those stopwatch things that hypnotists use, and kind of move his blade left and right and see if he follows.
It seems to. Its body doesn't move much, but its head kind of shifts half an inch to left or right.
Ball will put it out of sight.
After a minute or two of it out of sight, it turns around and looks at something glowing within the next room.
Should I just get rid of this thing? Clean up a bit?
I don't think it's going to do anything.
Great, I'll Sacred Flame it.
Okay.
So it's a dex save, but if it doesn't
auto-fails.
Cool.
His move is just staring at the tree in the next room.
So 9 radiant. Alright, who's hurt? And I'll start patching people up.
Yeah, you'll see Ball kind of mending his wounds.
Yes. So Ball, Calvin, Ezekiel, Amsen, and me, just us. Okay, so for Ball, that's cocked. Ball gets a full hit die. Oh, shit. Sorry, Ezekiel. God damn it. Sorry, Calvin. Amsen fucking gets it, and I don't. Because I'm not feeling tip-top, I guess.
Amsen's gonna sing and play a Song of Rest.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna actually on Calvin's, I'm gonna use that, or on Ezekiel's, I'm gonna use my inspiration that I didn't have, so that will just make it. So, Ezekiel, you can take a full hit die.
Okay, cool.
And everybody gets 2 extra hit points from Song of Rest.
While all this is going on, I just kind of reach forward, say, what the fuck are you? And tentatively poke the thing that came through.
You can hear the whirring of gears and shifting of cogs as it makes little noises, and it kind of leans away from the finger, putting its hands against the back.
Then I pull back and just put my hands up like, I'm not going to hurt you. Can you understand me?
It puts its hands up that have 3 sort of metal fingers onto its pyramidal body. as it clips them together. And there's a, as you see below, a cog whirling beneath its feet. It looks down, up at you, and then falls. The cog closing and dissipating.
Okay, that was fucking weird.
As I'm like looking for bandages, I'm like, what is that thing?
I don't know. This is the second time it's showed up. Remember on the cliffs the first time when we all jumped on Arcesis?
That was so long ago. Yeah.
And I was trying to blast fire at the Volgrith. And this thing just popped out of the air and went flying. It tried to grab onto me, but couldn't. And I haven't seen it since until now. If it's even the same thing and not just a different one. I don't even know.
Weird.
How long was it there for? I didn't even notice it.
Just about a minute. It showed up right before the end of the fight, and then it was gone not long after.
The flames of Ball finally began to die down as he was sitting there, enraptured in flames.
I realize that all the bandages I put on me are scorched, and I reapply them.
Okay. About an hour later, the old man is inspecting the armor has begun to move onto the walls of this room.
Anything interesting over there, Professor?
That's true, then. Might have to. Yes, quite interesting. Intact, not like this. Ruins. As you look, and he's just tracing, like absent-mindedly, halfway answering you, is just lost in whatever thought he's enraptured in.
While we're resting, Amsen's going to write down all of the stuff that has happened in this ruin up until now, and writing down some of the things that the professor is talking about.
Okay. So you guys, about an hour passes as you're resting and binding your wounds. You can see from the glow of Vesper's light and the dim glow of something in the room. In the next, you can see figures standing, but otherwise silent. They don't move.
With Ball having this blade in his hand, does anything happen after, I guess, the hour passes?
Do you attempt to focus your will upon it?
Yeah, I think at the start he's focused on bandaging himself, and then afterwards he goes back to thinking about why that being was interested in this blade, and just thinking about kind of what he saw this blade do. And maybe at that time, yeah, he'd be posing his will on it.
Attuning yourself, it's a +1 longsword. And as you finish this long rest, as you're holding it in your hand, standing, taking a few practice swings, Ball, your eyes become black, like ink, like a starry night.
Oh, hell.
Do I feel a change, or does Ball feel a change, or just
you feel connection to this blade?
Okay, but I don't feel like suddenly my eyes are black.
No.
Okay, so I'll just kind of continue minding my business.
Ball, you're not perhaps worried that will eat the radiant energy that you produce?
I'm not quite sure what this does yet. But I know those things are interested in it.
Well, never mind. No, your eyes are black.
Ball gives you a quizzical look.
I'm sure Vesper has something reflective. It's Vesper. So I'll pull out whatever that is and show him.
Ball will cast Detect Evil or Divine Sense on himself.
You don't detect anything.
Ball, can you do me a favor? Can you put down the blade for a minute and walk away from it?
Yeah, Ball will rest the blade against the wall and, just kind of walk to the other side of the room.
You do so. Your eyes may remain black, but you do so.
How do my eyes look now? And then I'll do, butterfly blinks.
The same as they did before, black, but there's tiny sparks of light, like stars. It's like looking into the void of a black night.
What color are Ball's eyes normally?
Roger.
I was thinking about that when Klouse first said that they turned black, I'm like, what are they normally? And then I was like, it's okay, I don't have to worry about it. And then I get asked,
I'm sure Ellory would have noticed at some point.
I think our art has them as blue, but I'll check the...
Regardless, he can let it go, which is a step above whatever the sword that Vespa had.
Still need to work on that thing.
Well, Vespa, can you do anything about that now? A ball situation?
I can certainly try.
Well, I mean, it's not hurting him quite yet.
I just won't be able to do anything grand if I work on that right now. Like, if one of us bites it.
It's not hurting him as far as we can tell.
It still makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm overall not too keen, given where we found it, who was using it, and what it does. But, Ball, you're a grown man, I think, and...
Was this using that? As the old man finally, pulls away from the wall he was looking at. Was that found here? He moves towards the blade, sitting against the wall.
He was using it.
He, squats down and begins looking at it. And, mumbles to himself under his breath, inspecting it, writing notes down.
Anything you want to share?
Not enough to really say. May I pick it up?
I don't know that is wise, but I feel fine, so...
Your eyes are... He looks at the sword and touches it with his pinky finger. It seems all right. And he kind of picks it up. Heavier, I remember. And he's looking it over, turning it over.
Hold on a sec. Did he say heavier than I remember?
Those are the words I certainly heard.
It's certainly a piece. I would catalog it before you leave.
So
I would prefer
can you
to
do
take
something
it.
for me?
Yes, perhaps.
I suggest you
Have
tell
you
us
seen
what
these-
that blade is, as I use suggestion on him.
Okay. Not good. So, I have to find what
It's
it
a
is.
wisdom save.
Yeah, he rolled nothing. He rolled low. Yes, it's a Black Star Saber. It is said to be an index of sorts, used to either communicate and or shift between connected ruins of the Vumari, back when their civilization were alive, of course. I believe, and he looks over his shoulder into the room, and has something to do with this tree. And he picks the blade up again and takes a step out of this
Hang on a
room.
moment. We don't know what's over there. It could be very dangerous.
Serrano, would you mind? And he just kind of pushes his hand forth, and she, taking his dainty instruction, kind of moves forth, spear in hand. Looks like there's a few figures in the next room, and is just kind of moving around them. They don't seem to move. And is in strike position with the spear. Okay. I'm going to move in. Prepared. And he moves in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be right up on this guy.
Okay.
I'm following along as well.
You see, as you move into this room, following him, the spearman is right at his back, looking at the ash creatures, as he kind of quickly speed walks by them. And they were staring at the tree when you first begin to follow them, but as he moves in, they are staring at the black blade. Yes. And he moves up, standing just in front of this platform that raises up about 3 feet, where upon it is a tree. You see a thin but gangly tree that rises up, keeping cherry blossoms of faint yellow upon them, which are glowing slightly, like veins from the roots up the trunk and through the branches, bathing this room in very dim light. With Vesper's light gleaming, it's very easy to see as he kind of steps forth, peering in, and in the trunk there is a wound, a hole, a gash in the center of the tree, where it looks like something has been stabbed in repeatedly over a great number of years in time.
Now, did we all see that it was pulled out of there?
At the beginning of the fight, yes, you saw the Vimera you killed withdraw something from the tree, presumably the blade.
I believe that's where it found it, or stored it.
So the scribes have said, as he's just staring at the wound. He begins to inspect the runes along the platform, holding the blade still.
May I? And then I'll reach my hand over to the blade.
He's like lost in thought. He's not handing it to you, but he doesn't seem to react towards your movement.
Then I'll like gently put my hand on the hilt.
I would prefer to research this first before attempting to do whatever this does.
Yeah,
Do you want me to ask the tree?
Ask the tree?
Yeah.
What?
You can do that?
Of course.
Of course.
Well, I mean, you can talk to animals, so I suppose it shouldn't surprise me.
Fine. As he kind of shifts over and kind of moves into one of the corners, just away from those ash creatures.
Before he does, Ball will say to him, "Don't worry, the blade will not go anywhere." And then I'll kind of, not super forcefully, but like motion that I want to take the blade.
Well, as we agreed, do have first dibs, and this is an artifact worthy of my order, the Jade in Attunement, which I mentioned previously.
I'm a bit of a history buff. May I look as well?
Why don't we see the tree talker first? As he's like slowly backing her away.
Can I insight check why he's kind of being all?
Why is he being so shifty? Is he trying to get away from us? Is he trying to hold on to the sword and not let us have it?
It seems like you're trying to steal his.
I mean, we did kind of agree to give him the shit
artifact
that we found, so.
And it seems like you're trying to not do that. You can make insight checks if you want to, but you.
I think
something ulterior.
If he's just like, if there's some kind of strange motive as to why he doesn't want to hand it over, or if it's just because he thinks he's got dibs.
As he backs away, he looks like he's afraid that you're going to take it, recognizing now that, oh, shoot, I only have one ally down here. And, there's this big giant with black eyes that's looking down at him. So he just seems afraid that you're going to take it from him, going against the agreement y'all made.
I think I'll try to reassure him and just say, it's okay, I don't wish to take it. I just wanted to try something. And then I'll kind of, pull my hands away and give him space.
Okay. Perhaps in a moment. And he kind of steps back, but kind of nods to you. I'm happy that you let him go.
I'm still with him. I'm trying to look just innocently interested in the blade.
He kind of pulls it up and rests it upon his hand so you can see.
Can I reach out and touch it?
Oh, sure, yes.
As I do, I'm going to cast a spell magic.
Okay. Hold for a second as we see what components.
It is verbal insomniatic.
Okay, so as you begin to touch it and begin to wrap your hands and begin to whisper words, he begins to pull it away. Make a dexterity check.
Grab it if I have to.
Okay, make a dexterity check.
Just straight dexterity?
Yeah, we'll say. Just straight dex.
That's a 14.
Yeah, 11. This old man, he tries to move it, but you touch the blade first.
Okay.
Allowing you to cast.
Oh.
And you don't even have to touch it, I don't think so.
Okay. It is. Oh, yeah, just choose one within 120 feet, actually.
So you need to roll.
Yeah, I figured. Please don't fuck me on that. It's a 17.
As you touch it, you hear the energy kind of rippling against your fingers. And as the spell culminates in the end, in just an instant, you hear a loud, piercing scream. All of you do in your ears. Immediately, the dim glow of the tree fades, the blossoms withering to ash and falling from it. The ash creatures suddenly turn, reach out, and say something in Sylvan, Salafis, which Ball and Ezekiel hear, no! And their ashen forms fall upon the ground. What did you do?
I removed its magic.
Why? Why?
It was controlling these undead.
It was controlling. You know nothing. I've studied this for years. You idiot. Incompetent.
You killed the tree.
That was...
The
I'm
index.
sorry.
And he rushes
You
over
went
to
back
the
on our deal.
You see the old man try to drive the sword into the tree, and it kind of sticks, but before kind of sliding out. And he's just mumbling to himself, trying to remember facts and trying to figure out a way out of this. The spear woman shifts over and puts her back against his, specifically between Vesper and the cryptologist.
What now?
And Ball's eyes are no longer black.
So Ball looks both at Vesper and at this cryptologist and says, what now?
Just go. He kind of reaches towards his side pouch and pulls out a bag of coin, just kind of tosses it back at the feet of Ball and Ellory or whoever's standing there. Just go.
I will scoop up that bag of coins.
Okay.
Well, this is now incredibly awkward. So, are these actual passageways to the left and right here, or?
Yeah, you see this is probably a fairly extensive network.
So just kind of back up against the wall. I assume it's me, Ellory, and Melly. Just so we should just get out of here now. Do you guys want to go exploring, or should we just leave? Because I think we just crushed that man's dreams.
I think we should go.
Ezekiel, why don't you lead the way out?
Okay. Are you all walking out?
I think I want to look just down that hallway once. I'm too curious.
Left or right?
I'll go to the left one and just get to there and peer and see how big is this?
Yeah,
So
if he's going along, I'm doing that too.
you see a small raised platform just a few inches off the ground, where it looks like it leads up to a throne of some sort. Otherwise, a pretty empty room. Looks like a throne room. To the left is a stone door. You shouldn't be able to see through it. That's my bad.
Well, this might have been interesting. I mean, she's probably right. That blade, what it did to the light, didn't feel right.
What it did to Ball's eyes.
I mean, black doesn't necessarily have to be evil. It could just be the night, but still,
No,
I do
but
wish I could have talked to the tree first, figured out something, but we didn't know.
He's already had things trying to influence him. I don't like the thought of something else trying.
That's fair.
So Ball's still lingering in the room with the tree. Ball wants to ask the cryptographer, what was the sword supposed to do?
It was an index. It wasn't... He's rubbing tears from his eyes.
Why was it controlling these undead?
Wasn't controlling anything. Memories. 20 years. 20! He kind of looks at the blade and at the tree and kind of puts his hand upon it. Just go. Leave. He turns and tries to push against you. It's like pushing against a mountain. He doesn't budge you. He just kind of pushes himself back. And he kind of falls to his knees and is just kind of head hung.
Let's get out of here.
Okay. Ball, do you leave?
I think Ball still lingers. Ball kind of looks at the tree. Maybe he's going to touch the tree. First he wants to... he touches it, casts Divine Sense.
Nothing.
And then maybe before he goes, he reaches his hand inside the wound in the tree. And he's going to cast Druidcraft. And just let me see what I can do so I don't do something I can't. Maybe I just, back in the old days where Ball tries to mend the wound of this tree. When he used to practice his swordsmanship against the bark of the previous trees.
Okay. As you try to do so, there's nothing living left to grow back from.
I'll take a deep breath and then breathe out and then slowly walk back to the party.
Okay. So Bo lingering behind before heading back. As you all are walking out, Vesper, you're taking steps on the stone and you hear a crunch beneath your feet. You look down to see a piece of a branch of the tree that fell when its blooms and blossoms fell as well. And something hits you like a punch to the gut. And you hear a word, whether in the voice of your own or Varus, you hear the word redemption and pain as you nearly stumble shoulder against the wall as you continue to move out. And as you guys move through the dome room and then up the spiral staircase, that's where we're going to leave off tonight and come back next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on Stitcher, Google Play, Player FM, or TuneIn. Download the app and subscribe or favorite us there. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr website. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory.